What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So the Golden Bachelorette episode 6 recap. We're here to talk about everything that happened in the episode. We open up the episode with Joan talking to someone's grandson about her 3 grandkids and telling her not to kiss any boys. And then the little boy asks if she kissed his grandpa. She said, yes, I know. So embarrassing. But before we jump back to the beginning of the episode, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there for more Golden Bachelorette content as we're getting towards the end. We're at hometowns now, fantasy suites next week. So we only got a handful of episodes left this season. But make sure you are subscribed down there so you don't miss an episode or a recap. So as we jump back to the official start of the hometown episode, we're at the airport with Joan as she's heading off to her hometowns. She said she's not at the place of loving any of the guys yet, but she's hoping that this week brings a good start. She's in Lake Tahoe, Reno, Nevada for Guy's hometown. They hop on a boat and head off. Guy says he's sometimes afraid to tell Joan his feelings because it could be over in a second. And they each make a wish, throw a rock in the lake, and then tells Joan about how sometimes he guards his heart through this process because he's scared. Guy tells Joan about how sometimes he's guarding his heart through this process and, possibly has some walls up or, trying to protect himself because he's scared of a letdown. But he says the prize at the end is worth the risk. Joan says that it's hard for her to process thinking about John's memory and, feeling guilty about having feelings for someone else. That she deserves to have love, but has to let go of John a little bit. They show up to meet Guy's family, his brothers, sisters, kids, grandkids. They catch the family up on the journey so far. She seems to fit in well as, she obviously would with probably any family here that she'll meet this week. His sons ask him if he would propose, and Guy says yes. Guy tears up, talking about loving again and being able to be loved again. He tells Joan that he's fallen for her big time and can see a future together at the end of the date. Joan says she feels way closer to Guy after today. Next, we head across the country to Chicago for Pascal's hometown. He gets her a coffee, getting his special at the coffee shop. They sit there, catch up a little bit. They go to his salon, and then later on in the day, they'll be meeting his children. They run around the salon, have Joan jump in, wash someone's hair, get some spa treatment, I guess it looks like. And I gotta say, very impressive salon there for Pascal. He tells her about being heartbroken in the past and how it could take time for him to, get there and fully open up and break down his walls. She says that makes sense now because, sometimes in group dates, she noticed him kind of standing in the background or even she was like, is he not that into me? And, Joan says it takes a lot to fully open your heart. She's like, I'm not sure if I'm fully there, but I'm getting there. And as Pascal says, that he's happy where they're at right now. Worries Joan a little bit that he's guarded, but hope that meeting his family will make their connection stronger. They show up to meet Pascal's kids and his friends. It was Pascal's grandson in the open that we saw that at the beginning. They talk about the journey so far. His grandson asks if he slept in a bedroom with a bunch of other grandpas. That was pretty funny. His son says that Pascal has had a lot of girlfriends, but that he's sick of dating and looking to find the one, to spend the rest of his life with. And then when Pascal and his son are talking, Pascal's son says that he seems as happy as he's ever been. And seeing him cry, which he said he's never seen before. Joan tells his daughters that he's a lot like her late husband. Joan says that she's worried, though, that she'll pick him in the end and he won't pick her. His daughter says that I don't think he won't pick you. The way that was worded was kind of funny. I had to go back to listen to it again, but she was saying it in a good way. Like, there's no way that he wouldn't pick you in the end if she did pick him. I just took another listen the way that it was kind of worded there, especially with some of the way they worded it in the, previews for the episode as well. Then we have Joan's conversation with his grandson, talking about her grandchildren and that she's kissed his grandpa. They even make a handshake, it looks like, at the end, so that was sweet. Joan says that she now has stronger feelings than she did yesterday for Pascal. They're staying in Chicago for Jordan's hometown date. Slow progression so far for them, but that doesn't mean they can't get there, as Joan says. They go to his favorite deep dish spot. They get dessert, have a shot of something, what Joan says is the worst thing she's ever tasted in her life. Meeting his daughters and brothers, and they show up to the house. They catch them up on the journey about his ice skating one-on-one date and his epic fall earlier in the season. His brother says, quick relationships can work. Apparently he, started dating his wife in June and got engaged, or knew they were going to get engaged in August, and 38 years later, they're still going strong. He tells his daughters that if the goal is to say I love you and get engaged in 2 weeks, I won't be there, basically, is what he was saying. His daughter tells Joan that her parents had a rough divorce. It's been 10 years ago now, and, that he's never really dated super serious since then, that he leads with humor kind of as a buffer. Ask if some of the other guys are more open, and Joan says, two are very open and, ready and able to commit, and your dad and another man are kind of like, oh boy, and kind of, just a little more guarded, I guess is a good word to kind of summarize what she was saying. But she does say that I'm worried if I pick him that he wouldn't be ready. As his daughter says, it's probably coming from a place of fear. His daughter feels like he's not opening him up completely, and as we said, guarding his heart. Joan checks to make sure that it's, still worth trying, kind of to Jordan. And Jordan's like, yeah, of course. But, she doesn't know if he knows where he wants to be, but he does want to continue. So does she take that leap of faith with him? Then in Wichita, Kansas, for Chuck's hometown, they're meeting his father, his late wife's father, his children, his family, and a bunch of friends. And wow, that's a big group when they show up. As Joan even says, like, how am I supposed to remember all these names? They plant a tree in remembrance of Chuck's late mother, who obviously, passed away only a couple weeks ago. At this point, while he was on the show, obviously left to go home right after that happened, and then came back shortly thereafter. Joan was involved in helping plant the tree as well, and that was an emotional moment there for everyone involved and for us watching at home. But after they play some yard games, they get Joan some red slippers since she is in Kansas. But she talks with his children, and she says that she does see a future with him. She talks with Kathy's father as well, which was Chuck's late wife, and says that he hasn't seen Chuck like this since Kathy. Chuck's father tells him that he thinks you're in love and that she is too. Chuck says it's getting closer, but he's reserved because he doesn't want to get hurt. And his father's like, I'll help you. You are. You can see it in your face. You can see it in your eyes. Afterwards, Joan tells Chuck that, she didn't expect to have these strong of feelings, this quickly, and feels that there's something real here and sees a future here. Chuck ends up saying that I'm falling for you, and he's like, promise, don't break my heart. I don't want to lose you. And then when they were kind of walking out, he didn't hold back, and he said, I'm falling in love with you. Then back in LA at the rose ceremony, she says she feels less confident than she did earlier in the journey. As she kind of mentioned throughout the week, she has two guys in Chuck and Guy that, are very open, ready to commit, and two guys in Pascal and Jordan that, aren't there yet or could take a little bit longer to get to that point. Chuck, Guy, and Pascal end up getting roses, so Jordan is going home. Jordan, he's a good guy. I just think, it wasn't fully there, and, it was going to take some time to get there, and I just think that was time that they didn't have on this journey. Joan even says, I think time wasn't our friend here to Jordan. It sounds like he hasn't dated a lot in the, last, 10 years, I believe his daughter said, since their divorce. So, I mean, that could probably be part of it as well. If he hasn't really been out there, if he is wanting to get back out there now, maybe this wasn't the best, first step for that. But I think he used it, even though this maybe wasn't the best first step to be with Joan, but it was a good first step for him. If he does want to get back out there and, try to find love again, then it's like, oh, he made strides, he made progress on this journey, understand what he wants now, if it's obviously been 10 years since that divorce. So, overall, I think he's a good guy, but just didn't work out here with Joan. So next week, they're going to Tahiti for overnight dates, the final three in Chuck, Guy, and Pascal. Going to be emotional for sure, as we are nearing the conclusion of Joan's journey to find love with only 3 guys left. So we should have, the final 3, probably have the men tell all after that, and then the finale. So probably only about 3 episodes left here, so we are coming down to the end of Joan's journey to find love this season on The Golden Bachelorette. But that'll do it. Episode 6 of The Golden Bachelorette recap. Make sure to subscribe. Don't miss next week's recap. A bunch of other stuff on the channel as well. So make sure to hit that subscribe button down there. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.